just like a horse, learns how to base itself and distributes its energy so that it pushes the full force at the end of the race to make it. That horse is each one of us. And we, in Ramadan, go into 3 groups. The first group are the losers. May Allah not make us among them. The ones who couldn't base their speed and their energy, not at the beginning at the month nor at the end of the month. Those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't grant them the tawfiq to do the full of ibadah, not at the end nor at the beginning. The second group, whom couldn't or were not wise enough to distribute that amount of energy in the whole month, during the whole month of Ramadan. They gave all of it at the beginning, but then they got exhausted at the end. It's too much work. Now they're so stressed and so much pressure and load on the shoulder that they decided that they want to stay home and focus on work because they're losing the track and the balance. And then the third group are the winners, who knew that إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. And they balanced their effort and their deeds and their work and their ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala easy in the beginning, slowly more at the middle of the month, and then they give it a last push. And those people can never be except the winners and the first on the race. Sahl al-Sa'idi radiyallahu anhu gives us a story to reflect that meaning. And he says, كان رجل من بيننا في معركة أحد. A man among us, a story that is famous with an authentic narration في الصحيحين. قاتل قتالا شديدا فما ترك شاذة ولا فاذة إلا ضربها. He fought in the battle of Uhud bravely, that he didn't leave a gap or a void in the army, in the battle, except that he filled it. He fought for it. He sacrificed his life for it. And then during the battle, they said, while Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is listening, ما أجزأ أحد كما أجزأ فلان. No one has done performance equivalent to fulan. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam cuts them off. إنه من أهل النار. He is among the people of hellfire. They tracked him, one of the Sahaba tracked him, that Sahl al-Sa'idi didn't mention his name. فَتَبِعَهُ رَجُلٌ فَوَجَدَهُ قَدْ تَوَسَّدَ سَيْفَهُ. He put the blade of his sword, grasped it, planted it on the ground, and the tip of the sword right in the middle of his chest. And out of the many injuries that he had and he couldn't take it. He pressed himself into the tip of the sword. He killed himself. And therefore, he died suicide, committing suicide, didn't die as a martyr. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man qatala nafsahu bihadida, dakhala jahannama khalidan mukhalladan fiha." Whoever killed himself with a metal or anything other than a metal, of course, it's a suicide commitment, will be in the hellfire. In some narrations, he will be eternally for hellfire. In that one hadith, this man has sacrificed so much in a whole battlefield, yet the ending was not pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ending reflects that he didn't have the patience and trust and tawakkul and relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that all the pain that you have, Allah is putting it in count. And therefore, this is what we understand from the dua of Yusuf alayhi salam. He didn't ask Allah to live as a Muslim. He didn't ask Allah to give him tawfiq of ibadat, yet he knew that the flesh, the core essence is to die as a Muslim. So he said, tawaffani muslima wa alhiqni bis salihin. And that winning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. And this is what each one of us should be capturing in his mind in the last 6 nights that we have in Ramadan. Brothers and sisters, all these deeds that we're gathering and collecting can come by nothing except the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. رَبُّنَا اللَّهِ, everyone says that. but very few would have the istiqamah. Everyone would push at the beginning of Ramadan, but not everyone would last. And therefore the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep the preciousness at the end of everything. The most blessed day of the week, Friday, at the end of the week. The most blessed night of Ramadan at the end of Ramadan. The most blessed day in the whole Dhul Hijjah at the last 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. All of this for one reason. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to know among all of us who are those ones who would have istiqamah, who would last until the end. And husnul khatimah is the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defines you with. That's why they say, man shabba ala shay'in shaba alayh, wa man shaba ala shay'in mata alayh, wa man mata ala shay'in bu'itha alayh. Whoever lives his younghood in a lifestyle, he will get old used to that. He will live his oldhood getting used to that lifestyle. And when you live a lifestyle as an old man, you will die on it. And you will die on when you die on something, you will get resurrected on that one thing. Man shabba ala shay'in shaba alayh. Husnul khatimah is one of the things that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ always used to make a dua of Allahumma inni as'aluka husnul khitam. And that's not something granted for anyone. And this is why Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah gives us the stories of people whom were asked before they die. في كتاب البدائع والفوائد, you can read and fly with those people whom Allah now make us among them. They were asked before they die, say La ilaha illallah. Husnul khatimah. Make the last words La ilaha illallah. They started saying ta, 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 ta. They got a symphony in their head. And that's all coming back from the headphones and the music and the rap songs that they used to listen at every spot in their life. They're studying, they're going to the gym, they're walking. Everywhere there is music in the head. What do you expect when you die? To recite the Quran? To say La ilaha illallah? Others were asked to say La ilaha illallah. They said, Subba ka'san wasqini. Just pour the wine and give me a sip. They spend their life drinking alcohol. Others were asked to say La ilaha illallah. They said, checkmate. Because they were playing chess for their whole life. Those who spend their life playing video games, and spending their life with fun and joy, that's the ending that you would be expecting out of yourself. But those who say La ilaha illallah before they die at husnul khatimah, who has spent their whole life saying La ilaha illallah. And that's what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, concluding all of that. إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا ذِرَاعًا فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابُ فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ فَيَدْخُلُهَا وَإِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا ذِرَاعًا فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابُ فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ فَيَدْخُلُهَا. A man would be doing all the good deeds in his life until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the tawfiq before he dies to do the good. And that good that he did at the end of his life would admit him to Jannah. And a man who's doing all the good in his life, and yet by the end of his life he would turn around and turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and does the evil or the sins of the people of hellfire, and Allah will admit him to hellfire. Brothers and sisters, they always say Ramadan is ending. And when you give it a second thought to this statement, Ramadan is not ending. Ramadan has been here for 1,000 years. And Ramadan will be coming for coming 1,000 years. Ramadan is not ending. We are the ones who will be ending. Ramadan has been coming and will still be coming. And next year Ramadan will be right here on the ground in this masjid. But you are the one who might be under the ground. So the statement is not save what's left out of Ramadan, but save what's left of yourself in Ramadan. And this is what we have to reflect upon. This is one of the very few chances that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give every day. This is one of the seasons that Allah is telling you, come closer to me. Come closer. Take the steps towards me, and I will give you the best of this world and the hereafter. Now it's your turn to sign the contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's your turn to take the step toward Him, and Allah will make the many steps toward you. Barakallahu li wa lakum, wa sallallahu wa barakallahu li wa lakum. قد قلت ما قلت فما كان من خطأ فمني ومن الشيطان وما كان من صواب فمن الله وحده أستغفر الله فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إن ربي غفور رحيم. الحمد لله وحده الصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. Brothers and sisters, as we're kicking the last nights of ourselves in Ramadan, only 6 nights are left out of this month, and this Friday might be the last and the orphan Friday in the month. This is the last Friday that we will witness today in this month, and this might be the last Friday that you witness in your life in Ramadan. And we have to get the full use of this month, inshallah. During the 6 coming nights is Husnul Khitam, is where you show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what you're made of. You show Allah the best of yourself, all kinds of ibadah. You show it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in those 6 nights, which very most probably, we hope inshallah and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if Laylatul Qadr was in there to give us the tawfiq to act and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that night. During that night we'll have inshallah on the coming Monday, the 27th night, our annual fundraise in this masjid. And on Wednesday there will be Khatmul Quran inshallah at the first 8 rak'ahs of Salatul Taraweeh bi'idhnillah. And those will be a major events of the month that everyone is required and encouraged to participate and be an active member at the masjid, inshallah. And as we're doing that every day, try to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a goodness of yourself. Don't wait for the night of Khatm al-Quran to finish the Quran, but you got your own Khatm with Allah. Don't wait until the fundraising night to give and show Allah the generosity of yourself, but give Allah, don't give. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, you're just giving back to His poor slaves. لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا. But you're giving it back to yourself. وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. ثم بعد هذا اعلموا أن الله أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه فقال عز من قائل حكيما إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بلغنا ما بقي من رمضان اللهم بلغنا فيهن ليلة القدر اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر واجعلنا ممن صامها وقامها إيمانا واحتسابا فغفرت له ما تقدم من ذنبه اللهم أعنا فيهن على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك وأعنا فيها على الصيام والقيام برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا ظلما كثيرا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة